Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining my talk today. I am Mickey Negus. I'm a senior engineering manager at ETHDenver, which is a core developer of the Graph protocol. My topic today is Decentralize the Help Desk, Redefining Web3 Support. So I intend to share some lessons learned from the Graph in providing support for a decentralized protocol. Let's get into it. All right, so if you're unfamiliar with the Graph, this is a pretty simplified view of our protocol. But ultimately, the Graph is a decentralized indexing solution. So we're indexing blockchain data and then organizing the world's knowledge and information. At a high level, dApps ultimately need blockchain data to display on their front ends, and it's really arduous to do that themselves. So what they can do instead is develop a subgraph, which is an open API. By developing their subgraph, they're able to access blockchain data that indexers have already indexed and organized for them, and then that way they can display the data directly on their website without doing the heavy lifting. If you work for a Web3 protocol and you're interested in providing support for a decentralized protocol, you probably have similar roles in your ecosystem as well. And providing support for multiple different user personas can be complicated. So I'd love to share what the Graph has learned. So when we look at the current Web3 support landscape, there are a number of challenges in providing support for a decentralized protocol. Decentralization is our superpower, but it does introduce a lot of challenges around coordination and communication. Common Web3 support frustrations include a lack of accountability. Often users don't even know who's responsible for providing support in the first place. Oftentimes, there's no source of truth around documentation or troubleshooting information. And when they do receive support, a lot of times users see very, very slow support response times. And if they do receive support eventually, often they're met with canned responses or protocols that overly rely on bots. So the challenge is, how do you provide timely, world-class support across a decentralized protocol? And we believe at the Graph that for Web3 to reach its full potential, we need to rethink how we support our users and their unique needs, and how do we create systems and processes that are collaborative across a decentralized protocol, but ultimately responsive to solving customer issues. So in doing this, it's actually quite natural to look at Web 2 for inspiration, but there are a number of existing flaws in Web 2 support models. So while there are some pros and cons in leveraging Web 2 support systems, the pros being maybe there's tooling that's already been vetted and proven to work at scale, but the cons being often Web 2 companies are centralized, so they own the complete end-to-end technical support hierarchy, they own all of their tooling, and everyone who provides support works within one single centralized company, which is just not the case for Web 3 protocols. So in a centralized Web 2 support model, the speed of response for customer issues and the quality of service provided are often constrained by the technical skill level of L1 support engineers, your first layer of support, and also, frankly, by business hours. So some Web 2 centralized companies offer global 24/7, 365 support, but a lot of those companies also don't do that. And we don't have an option in Web 3. Support needs to be on and available 24/7, 365. Or else, if you only operate support against certain business hours, you create a ton of bottlenecks for your users. So Web 3 protocols can and should leverage the parts of Web 2 support that make sense for them, but ultimately we believe that providing world-class support in Web 3 requires a revamped approach. So let's look at the Graph solution. Our goal is simple. We want to keep users at the center of everything we do in providing support, and we want to ensure that the support we're providing is as sharp and performant as the technology that we're building. There are many contributors to the Graph protocol, and we have successfully set a gold standard for decentralized support in Web 3. Instead of keeping this internal, we don't want to gatekeep it. We want to share our lessons learned with other Web 3 protocols so that everyone can help level up the support UX across all of Web 3 together. So let's get into it. I'll now cover the Graph's decentralized support playbook. So we've centered our support around 3 pillars: people, processes, and tooling. These 3 pillars have enabled us to provide world-class support across a decentralized protocol. Let's look at pillar 1. This is our people pillar. So our level 1 L1 support engineers are technical. In a lot of cases, the L1 support team at many companies are actually non-technical, and they often serve as just a router for copying and pasting user issues to another tier in the support hierarchy, and we have done away with that. Our L1 support engineers are extremely technical, they are users of our protocol, and they're able to resolve user issues much faster. Number 2, you need to build a follow-the-sun distributed team. As I mentioned before, Web3 doesn't sleep. There are no business hours in Web3, and so you need support engineers in major regions around the world to support your global user base. This one's kind of contentious, but I believe we should provide no canned responses ever. This is because when you have canned responses, it drives a lot of back and forth between your L1 support engineer and a customer to even get to the root of their issue. And by doing away with canned responses and providing bespoke messages to each customer, we found that it's way faster for our L1 support team to identify an issue and resolve it. Next, borrowing this from Jocko Willink's book on extreme ownership, but you should establish and reinforce a culture of extreme ownership on your team. Your L1 support engineers should know that each customer issue is theirs to own until they resolve it or escalate it to another tier in your support hierarchy. And lastly, we're at a hackathon here today. If you're offering a bounty from your protocol, your technical support team should know exactly when the hackathon is occurring so they can resolve issues. If your devs who are trying to go after your hackathon bounty experience issues at a hackathon and they don't get timely support, it impedes their ability to pursue your bounty. So your tech support team should also be plugged into providing support during hackathons or other real-time events. All right, jumping into pillar number 2, this is our process pillar. So first, we suggest you set a competitive time to first response or TTFR SLA. Whether you advertise this as a formal SLA publicly or just an internal TTFR target, this is very important in ensuring your team members know what the baseline time is that they have to respond to customers within. Similarly, if you're offering an uptime or quality of service or reliability SLA, you need to look at all of your upstream components, software, and services. If your upstream services offer a lower reliability SLA than you offer, you're putting your ability to achieve that SLA at risk. Next, you should enable different contributors across your decentralized ecosystem to participate in the support model. An example being your L1 support team doesn't actually need to be your Discord community moderators. If you have, let's say, a DAO in your ecosystem, you can put out a grant for the DAO to manage your Discord server and allow your L1 team to remain focused on resolving customer issues. Next, you definitely need processes for writing RCAs, root cause analyses, or postmortems. When you have major breaking issues, this is a key process for you to have in place to ensure you are solving these major breaking issues at the root. Nothing drives customers crazier than dealing with major outages over and over and over again. So this process is key in ensuring you don't have repeat issues arising. And lastly, you should be bringing support to where your users are. If they're on your website, they should get support there. If they're in Discord, they should get support there. So ensure you have processes in place to bring your support team members and monitor and respond to customer issues across platforms. All right, lastly, pillar 3 is around tooling. So bots are totally okay to use, but you still need humans too. But by using bots, you're able to outsource responding to repeat, low skill, low technical issues, and then again, free up your L1 human support engineers' time to focus on more complex issues. Chatbots that we like at The Graph include Pluno, formerly Awesome QA, as well as Katara and Cookbook.dev. Those are all great options. Next, you need data and metrics. For us, we rely on Astronaut to provide us with sentiment analysis and different pattern insights, as well as TTFR response time metrics. I'll talk more about Astronaut in a moment. You should also implement a ticketing system or similar tooling on your website. So even if you're providing support primarily in Discord or Telegram, asking a user to churn off of your website and go find your Discord server to get support just creates more friction for them. And so offering a ticketing system directly on the website will help your users get more timely support. Next, you'll want to develop an observability strategy to level up your monitoring and alerting. So this includes building out dashboards using tools like Metabase or Grafana to give your tech support team insight into the health and wellness of your protocol and any services that might be failing. And then surfacing metrics using Grafana, and then Victoria metrics or Prometheus metrics, and then creating alerts is helpful in ensuring you're triggering a page for your on-call engineer to respond to critical issues within a certain threshold. And lastly, I mentioned on the last slide, you need to bring support to where your users are. And so if you're providing cross-platform support like the graph, you'll need additional tooling in place to help your team manage that complexity. An example is if you have hundreds of Telegram chats with users, you can use a service like 3RM to send out mass messages across multiple Telegram chats. All right, so we talked about some of our guidelines that we wanted to share with you. So what are the results of all of these changes? So if we flash back to 2022, the support response times for users of the graph was roughly 1 to 7 days, which is actually pretty typical for Web3 protocols even today. We started identifying and fixing many inefficiencies in our support model. We expanded our L1 support team at ETHDenver, where I work. We clarified roles and responsibilities with our ecosystem supporters across the protocol. We implemented improved tooling, and we onboarded our secret weapon, Astronaut, for providing cross-platform support analytics. And when we look at our results today, we are able to say with high confidence that the L1 support team's median time to first response is 3 minutes. So by implementing the guidelines we covered today, we've brought down our support response times from up to 7 days down to 3 minutes median TTFR. Have our customers noticed? Absolutely. Here's a quote from Fabian, founder and CEO of Snapshot Labs. No matter the time zone or issue, the graph support is always available. Slack, Telegram, Discord, ticketing, every channel is optimized for speed with real-time guidance from experts who actually build on the protocol. Our users have definitely noticed an improvement. I mentioned Astronaut. So in addition to our L1 support team, an incredible team of mission-aligned engineers, Astronaut has been the other key to success for us. Astronaut's a platform that enables enterprise-grade customer support across multiple chat platforms, and it has been crucial in our ability to track our median response times to users and know where our bottlenecks are and improve them. So here's how it works. You can easily integrate Astronaut with just a few clicks. You integrate Astronaut with different channels on Slack, Telegram, or Discord. Astronaut offers conversation intelligence, which is a really cool feature. It automatically identifies and connects related messages across busy group chats. It offers intelligent tagging. It's automatically identifying bugs, support requests, and other product feedback. And it's offering us deep insights and amazing analytics around the question volume we receive from users, our response times across platforms, performance metrics broken out by team member, different days of the week or times of day. It surfaces outliers, so if we miss our response target and have an outlier where it took us a very long time to respond to a user issue, Astronaut easily surfaces that to us, so we're able to identify where we still have bottlenecks and solve them. And lastly, it identifies recurring issues or themes reported by customers. A quote from Ayola John, the co-founder and CEO of Astronaut, also in the audience here today. The graph has set a new standard for Web3 customer experience. Before Astronaut, tracking response times across hundreds of Telegram conversations was a manual nightmare. We built our platform to help teams like theirs deliver world-class support while preserving Web3's open culture. And this summarizes our experience very well. It was a nightmare trying to even understand what our baseline TTFR was, let alone know how to improve it. All right, so what's next? This has very much been an iterative journey for the Graph protocol. We have been able to deliver world-class support by continuously adapting, learning from our customers, and innovating ways to apply some Web2 technologies as well as Web3 specific improvements. By addressing the unique challenges that a decentralized ecosystem faces while prioritizing the UX of support, we have been able to deliver fast, efficient, and responsive support for our users, getting down to a median 3-minute TTFR. So as Web3 continues to grow, we encourage teams to remember that people, processes, and tooling are the foundation for excellence in providing world-class support for Web3. We'll continue to listen to and adapt based on user needs, but we wanted to share these guidelines with you in the hopes that we can level up the Web3 support experience. So if you'd like to get in touch, connect with us by going to thegraph.com. You can access support from the website, as I mentioned. You can review our docs and other information. You can follow @GraphProtocol on X. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I'm happy to chat about support anytime. You can hit me up on Telegram at Mickey_Negus or email me at mickey@edgenode.com. I'll also hang out here on the side after my talk ends if you'd like to chat in real time at the event. But with that, again, I'm hoping these guidelines have been helpful to you. Take whatever resonates, leave behind what doesn't resonate with you, and let's improve the support UX across Web3 together. Thank you.